So with our path, we have admin, we then have children. But if we go to the root of our application when the page initially loads, we then see absolutely nothing. So this is a quick lesson on being able to use a redirect and redirecting to a particular path should we wish. So for example, if we land on our empty route, we might want to handle the capability for an empty path. Now the empty path here is going to correspond with the empty path in the URL. Now there's also another concept where we could have an empty path inside of here, which then is essentially matching the first component inside of admin. So this would just be /admin is then going to list out our donut list. Now this capability then allows us to have more child routes, but we'll come on to that at a later date. Now for this path, we want to basically redirect. So what we can say is redirect and then to admin. So then we can hit save and we see something like this, which might be a bit surprising. So let's jump in, inspect element and see what's going on. So inside the console, we have invalid configuration. Please provide a path match. The default value of path match is prefix, but often the intent is to use full. So what this essentially means is we want our path to match completely blank. So we can say path match with a value of full. This is then going to say when our route definition is definitely on completely empty, because otherwise it's going to match subsequent routes. Now the interesting piece is we're now at /admin, which means that we are inside of our children at this point in time. We're not actually rendering the donuts or the donut. Now we could fix this by specifying admin/donuts. We can then hit save. Of course, we need to go and clear out the URL so we can go back to the beginning. We then have admin/donuts. But instead of doing this, we could actually create another path match inside of our admin routes. And we can basically specify the same as what we've done here. So again, we can say path. When the path is empty, we want to use a path match of full. And we want to redirect to. Now, because we are already inside admin, we can just simply specify donuts. So let's then save this out. We can go back, clear out the URL, and then it's redirected to admin/donuts. So this is really nice because you could imagine this routing definition is going to live in our app module. This routing definition is eventually, as we continue through the chapter, going to live in our admin module. So these two are not always going to be visible within each other. And as your application grows, it's going to be hard to see what ties each route with each other. So this is a really nice way that we could specify some base routing. And what I tend to, in fact, do is have a base path and then the module that we want to then load. This module that we then load is the feature module, which has all of its routes bound to it. So we're then going to learn throughout this chapter how to do exactly that and build out a really robust routing structure. So this is another nice short lesson on how to use a full path match when the path is empty. We can then supply a nice, quick, easy redirect. And we also have these relative redirects. So once we've routed to a component, we're then inside this particular path. It's up to the child routes then to then take over and then redirect. I'll also mention while we're here that I've put this path of empty at the bottom because our router by default is going to go through these line by line and try to match them. If it can, it's then going to trigger our redirect, which is why we specified these at the end.